The Xenoblade 3 trailer practically confirmed the return of locations from the previous games, but even so, as of yet, no locations have been officially confirmed, which is why today I'm bringing you the top 10 locations that I want to see make a comeback in Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And let's jump right into it with number 10, Sator Marsh. This was one of the most beautiful areas in Xenoblade 1, and it could easily be one of the prettiest areas in Xenoblade 3 as well. The first time I saw how the trees and ether glows up into the night sky is one of my most memorable parts of the original game, and I'm sure it's equally as memorable for many of you as well. And I'd love the ability to be able to see and revisit areas like Exile Fortress and the Shining Pond, and seeing how these areas have changed over the years. And Xenoblade Chronicles 3 could do a really good job of fixing many of the issues I had with the original area. It was always a bit annoying to traverse the swamp with all the water being in the way and the location being very linear, resulting in you having to backtrack a lot to progress forwards. But with the potential use of vehicles in this area and the fact that much of the water could have evaporated from this location over the years, it could transform Sator Marsh into the place that it always deserved to be. And speaking of areas with potential, next up at number 9, we have the Letharian Archipelago. I always felt like Letheria was the most underutilized location in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I mean, we never even actually get to see the true form of the Titan, as it's always cloaked behind that massive wall of clouds. We do already have some evidence though that Letheria might already be in Xenoblade 3 within Erith Sea, and I believe that Letheria being here will allow us to make full use of its terrain. The tentacles of the Titan will easily replace the transporters that we're used to within Erith Sea, and can provide us with an easy way to navigate through the area. Of course, we'll also have that boat to travel through the water quicker, but we should also be able to walk from isle to isle. I also think Monolith could make really good use of the diving mechanic that was teased in the trailer, as there could be all sorts of underwater tunnels leading into the Titans' bellies, where hidden monsters and treasure could await us. And maybe we'd even be able to look down to the bottom of the ocean and get our first glimpse of what the Letharian Titan actually looks like. And we'll be able to see Letheria from a completely different perspective, which will hopefully be the same for our number 8 on the list, which is Valak Mountain. Valak Mountain is very similar to the previously mentioned Sator Marsh. The area is very linear, it can be a pain in the backside to navigate through, and it looks absolutely gorgeous at night. But I've put it higher on the list for one reason: the potential transformation of this area. Valak Mountain isn't necessarily going to be a mountain in Xenoblade 3, nor might it be frozen. I want us being in this location to be a complete and total surprise. Through the day, we can just be wandering through the normal standard grassy area that we tend to see in Xenoblade games. But as soon as night falls, crystals that have been buried beneath the earth reveal themselves by illuminating with ether and shoot beams of light into the sky. And due to the different mosses which could have grown onto the crystals over the years, we could see a beautiful array of colours as these beams of light shine up like a rainbow into the night sky, turning a fairly ordinary and bog standard grassy location into a unique and vibrant area with one hell of a view. And let's talk about the other major snowy area in Xenoblade, because at number 7 we have the Kingdom of Tantal. Valak Mountain, this area no longer has to stay chilly either, as Tantal only ever had a cold climate due to the residents siphoning off Genbu's ether energy, which was then used to refine core chips for the Underline Praetorium in exchange for them keeping quiet about the royal family's bloodline. However, this process no longer needs to continue, so it's likely that we could see a version of Tantal with a much warmer climate compared to before in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And I'd like to also for the first time be able to explore the outside of Tantal, as the devs could make really good use of its shell to create an interesting and fun location with lots of variety in the verticality of the area, as well as lots of unique fauna and flora to make a truly unique place. There could also be many caves which lead back inside of the Titan, uncovering a humid jungle within, which could be used as a dungeon for the endgame, where level 99 monsters and above could lurk, as well as the definitively strongest character in the Xenoblade series, Turtles the Destroyer. And at number 6, we have my current favourite location within Xenoblade, which is Uriah. Uriah could be one of the most diverse locations within this game. From what we can see in the trailer, Uriah could replace the two previously mentioned areas as this game's snowy location, whilst also maintaining its beauty from the previous game. Providing we can still enter the insides of the Titan, we should be able to witness the spectacle of those cherry blossom petals falling in the moonlight, as after all, a lot more light will make its way inside now that there is a massive hole in the Urian Titan, and I get the vibe that this could be the final location where we throw down against the real enemy of Xenoblade 3 and end this war between the two nations with our own hands. And it has to be said that there are worse places to have as a backdrop for when that happens than Uriah. And we should get used to visiting the body of a dead Titan, because at number 5 we have the Fallen Arm. But I don't mean the ordinary Fallen Arm, no. I mean the new Fallen Arm. We got to explore the arm that was cut off during the prologue of Xenoblade 1, but we never got the opportunity to explore the arm that was rebuilt by Egil and sliced off later on in the story, and I think this area could be really unique amongst the Mechonis locations. For sure, the layout of this area would likely be very similar, if not the exact same as the old arm in Xenoblade 1, but due to this arm being more modern, we could see some different and more interesting terrain. Perhaps we'll be able to see the last remnants of the Mechon production line, with many incomplete and deactivated Mechon inside, which would admittedly be quite eerie and be a great place for some jump scares that could provide us all with a brand new Mechonis experience. But before we move on to number 4, let's play a quick game. The rules are real simple. I'm going to show a Titan on screen for 5 seconds, and all you guys have got to do is guess which one it is. For example, everyone knows that this Titan is Gormop because it looks like a deer, and this is obviously more ordained with all that machinery. Easy, right? In that case, get yourself ready. On your marks, get set, and go! Well, did you figure it out? No, I didn't either, but this Titan can be seen at the end of Xenoblade 2 merging with that landmass, yet we still don't have a name or any idea which Titan it is. Thus, I'm putting the unknown Titan at number 4 on my list. This, like the new Fallen Arm, could provide us with a brand new experience when exploring the world of Ionios, and it's super exciting to think up all of the different possibilities. This Titan could be part of the area which is reminiscent of Torna, and it could be a great way of bringing back the terrain from those locations which ordinarily shouldn't be able to come back. Or maybe they will utilize this Titan by making a completely new and unique area for Xenoblade 3. Regardless, exploring this brand new Titan would be one of my highlights for the game. And with that, let's move on to number 3, which is Sword Valley. Now obviously, this location will be a little bit different compared to how it was in Xenoblade 1, mainly thanks to the fact that the sword is now standing vertical. We can also see from the trailer that the sword appears to have some greenery now growing on it, which could provide us with a really nice blend of nature and machine. And they could create a really strong atmosphere by scattering broken mechon around, remnants of the two battles that went on here, especially with the area being overgrown and untouched for many years. I can picture the area being littered with strong unique monsters as we attempt to climb our way up to the top, and those who manage to reach the peak would be treated with what could be the greatest view in all of Xenoblade, as we overlook the whole of Ionios. But this may still not be the highest point in Xenoblade 3, as our number 2 slot might hold that record for itself, being the floating city of Alcamoth. I've always loved this area, even in Future Connected when we get to see it once again, but I am so excited to see what this city is like when Melia is ruling it. And I think it's likely that the city could have had many renovations, which would be all the cooler considering that a combination of both high-end tier and machina technology would have been used to restore it. I imagine that it will still be the capital though for the Kivas nation, and likely will move around a lot, so we may be able to see Alcamoth in many different locations around the Kivas nation. The interior of Alcamoth could be drastically different though, as the Kivas nation is at war after all, and this may result in a lot of things being different, especially if Melia has militarized the capital and has mounted high-end tier and machina weapons onto it. That being the case, I still think it will remain a very nostalgic area as we wander around this great city. And speaking of nostalgia, we have number 1. It's very possible that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 could be the third game and end to the trilogy, and so I can't think of a better place to end this adventure than exactly where it all started, at Colony 9. Now, I don't think this place is going to have any importance to the story, nor do I think that we're going to be able to access it before we've finished the game. But I think it would be amazing if we could go back to the place where it all began. I want to visit the beach where Ryan and the others were fishing. I'd love to see the view from Outlook Park, overlooking the remains of the Bionis. But most of all, I want to wander around the streets of Colony 9 and get lost within the nostalgia. We could even meet the descendants of Shulk and the other party members and just see how much this little colony has grown as we explore this location all over again. Which is why Colony 9 is number 1 on my list of areas I want to see return in Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I just want to quickly mention that YouTube shows me that at least 85% of you watching this video are not subscribed. If you haven't done so already, consider clicking that button, as it will really help me achieve my next goal, which is to hopefully hit 10k subs by the end of 2022. It's a bit of an ambitious goal, I know, but with your help, I'm sure it's achievable. So thank you all for watching, and I appreciate you watching this video through to the end, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Peace.